Hi Scorpio, here's a general look at your solar chart for March 2012, and every year at this time the Sun comes back into the same area of your solar chart, which is actually the house of fun, potentially, or it can simply mean that you're getting more out of what you're doing every day. And then there's a whole range of things it can mean in between those two polarities. So some of you might like to party a bit more, some of you get the chance to party more, some of you get more access to entertainment, but because there is also a working feel to this month, you might just be whistling while you work, or maybe doing the other and whistling while you work. There will be moments when maybe you feel that all eyes are on you, or that you're exchanging admiring glances with somebody else as well. But the house that the Sun is in for the next 3 weeks, that's up until the 20th, is how you can learn by being physically active and hands-on in relationships. But some of those relationships might be work-orientated or health-orientated, even relationships. So you are likely to be juggling things at work, keeping your eye on the ball, maintaining a responsible, practical, organised approach, hopefully, with daily chores, whether it's a formal work setup or an informal one, and also with anything health related, anything that you're doing to improve things for yourself physically. And socialising is more likely to be centred around work or health, but avoid perhaps too much chatting, which serves to have you take your eye off the ball and off the job in hand. And a lot of the time that's fine, because definitely this is a month when you can share a few laughs along the way, but at critical moments it's not a good idea to sort of take your eye off the road. A good time for you to be learning new things, or applying skills, or sharing your skills, or being of service. Actually, there's a real feel of being of service, particularly in the first 5 days. But there is also within that a kind of friendly feeling as well. Now, and the thing is about this month as well is Mercury turns retrograde on the 12th, so you may or may not know that tends to slow down the action of Mercury, so that might mean something like there's an element of disharmony that you're feeling, or hold-ups or delays to do with a relationship or the job in hand, whatever it is. Maybe I'm waiting on getting parts for something, or something about some piece of kit or equipment or whatever. And then Mercury continues to retrograde and goes into Pisces on the 24th, which is actually a very creative area for you, and it implies a bit more of the same of what I was saying before about the Sun's position up until the 20th, is that you just get more fun or empowerment out of daily encounters, or there's a competitive feel, and you can feel as though you can sort of throw yourself into something that you get a lot out of mentally. You see, so you put maybe you're learning something, but also you're putting your heads together with others, or you're just putting your head into something, and others will benefit from that. Others may be even entertained by that, by what you can produce on the level of communications, whether that's through speaking, writing, or indeed through another medium of creative self-expression. So that can be something to do with the arts, I guess. But definitely will have you feeling more relaxed and playful. Now, whilst Mercury's going backwards, you might not really have a strong sense of where it's going, but really that would be, the advice would be just to go with the flow, because later on when Mercury goes retrograde you'll start to get the feel of where things are going. In general, you'll have more access to your own creative core, your own creative self-expression, and also perhaps because this house that Mercury is in is the house of children. So some of you might be having more contact with children actually over the month of March. it's also your inner child, the child that is you within, no matter what your age, and so you might have more access to your own, or feeling more spontaneous and more fun-loving at this time. And as I say, you might just feel more valued. I mean, you never know your luck. And for some of you, there will be more focus on romantic partners, perhaps pets, animals, or some sort of creative project that you're doing, or if it's not a project, it's an activity or a pursuit of some kind that you get a lot out of. And another way it can also work is that your mind, after the 24th, could be weighing up the pros and cons of a kind of a risk or a gamble, and maybe putting out feelers to do with that. Until the 5th, teamwork is highlighted, and you'll probably be in a cooperative frame of mind, wanting to be of practical help and coordinate with others, but also the tendency is for others to coordinate with you and make certain things available to you, which you could do with and you're glad about. It could also be centered around health related, whether that is in a remedial sort of healing situation, or whether that's just in a preventative sort of, good diet, good exercise, and making sure that you're doing all you can. But whatever it is, it feels as though that this is an area of flow for you. Could get a bit rough on the 3rd and the 4th. Might be a blip there, but otherwise, friendships or other close relationships, personal or professional, could be centered around a working, or you're sort of like a health related environment, whether that's to do with diet and exercise or whatever. And also, a romantic encounter could happen for you with somebody in this kind of environment, rather sort of more business-like sort of environment. But then from the 5th, Venus goes into her favorite house in your solar chart, which is all about relationships, and it should give your relationships, whether they're working ones, business ones, or very close to your heart ones, a terrific boost. And you and someone could really hit it off if it's a new meeting, or it can be a bonus for already established alliances, as I say, whether they're love relationships or other types of relationships. And it could make you value a relationship even more, or feel more valued in a relationship. Definitely a great time for cooperative liaisons and negotiation type situations. You just come across better, really, and you could do better materially, sort of directly or indirectly through somebody that you know, or it might be somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, however it is. And also, there happens to be pretty good potential for you in relationships, or through a close relationship, or a new relationship between the 13th and the 15th, 13th to the 15th, not between, but 13th to the 15th. Yeah, that looks like it could be quite promising. It could open a door or two there for you. Now, the long transit of Mars, the group dynamic, is strongly emphasized at the moment, and it will be over several months. It's almost as though you need to come together with people of like mind and sort of team up and kind of pull all together. And this has been going on since November, and it will continue until July. So it's going to be a time when group gatherings, but also new acquaintances, old ones, new friendships, old friendships are going to be strongly emphasized and could be very productive. It's definitely a progressive time for you, Scorpio, when things that have been on the back burner of your life for a long time, for whatever reason, now you really do see how you can achieve them, and it will be through physical effort, sometimes a bit demanding on you, through the sweat of your brow, but you do sort of see that carrot, and you kind of working towards it. also in anything to do with team collaborations, again, physical effort is likely to be needed at times. And this is also a very good aspect for anything over the wires, like I'm doing here, forums and blogs and networkings and whatever's. Really, yes, having the powwow, having the brainstorming session is a really good thing to be doing here with Mars in this long transit. But Mars rules the head, so it likes to have its head, it likes to be out in front. You could find yourself volunteered, willingly or unwillingly, into a prominent or leading type position in some way, on some sort of small or very big level, really. Just be aware of that. Mars loves to initiate. So again, you might find yourself bulldozing over others and not really realizing that you're doing it in your enthusiasm to kind of get things rolling, because basically you're not in the mood to wait around for others, because you just see them as dragging their feet at the moment, and that will be to do with Mars in this department of your solar chart. And at the moment, actually, Mars is going retrograde, so that might mean that you're feeling, you might feel frustrated. You might feel as though things are being held up, that you're sitting in the back row thinking, well, I wouldn't do it like that. So really, this is the Mars feistiness coming up here, bubbling up to the surface, making you feel as though you should be at the front of the army, holding the flag and galloping forwards, or whatever it is. Or, it might not be anything like as dramatic as that, but I've got to give some sort of an example so you get the feel of what I'm trying to say. So anyway, the group dynamic or friendships are really important. At this time there can be crossed swords in friendships. This is another way Mars can work, because again it kind of tends to speed you up and you're a little bit short on patience with friends or others that you collaborate with, you see. But just remember that division leads to weakness. The thing is about when Mars goes retrograde, it can seem as though it's more of a struggle really than it has to be, and it's just your perception anyway. In April, Mars will go direct. That's around about mid-April, and things should fall into place then, and then you realise there really is a strength in numbers, and you may have underestimated yourself or others previously, or whatever it is. So now from the 20th, the material physical aspects of your life on Earth are going to be highlighted in a more serious way, not so much in that sort of lighter, easier way that I was talking about, but there still is some of that around. So you'll be cooperating and liaising in a more sort of organised, practical, service-orientated way, and probably having to deal with quite a few little details. There is a new moon on the 22nd, and that new moon is going to be conjunct Mercury and Uranus, and that could conjure unexpected, amazing things for us all, not just for your sign. We'll have to wait and see how that one pans out, because it'll mean something different for every single person in their life, and not much can be deduced from just the solar chart. But there could be something that really is quite a surprise. It could be quite magical for many people, a little bit bizarre. It might be major, it might be minor. It all depends. However, it is on the new moon, and an element of it might be felt in the days running up to the 22nd, and then the new moon will pulse that energy out through the subsequent month, so that'll be until the 22nd of April. And here I've been talking about the inner planets, the faster moving inner planets, but everything I say here is set against the backdrop of the outer planets, the slower moving outer planets, and what they're doing for you this month is written up on my website. You might like to go there and read it if you're interested, but really the reading that I'm giving you here isn't sort of complete until you've got the two halves together. Also, on top of that, there's moon signs and rising signs, if you know them. And you can glean more information if you go and listen to the forecast for your rising sign or your moon sign and just see how it fits for you. And it might take you several months before it kind of starts to gel together and you realise which bits belong to you and which bits don't. And I will see you the next time.